Fire Emblem Three Houses is a great game which won exactly 2 awards when it came out in 2019. Among many other things, the game was praised for its flexible class system, which allows you to build your units in fun, creative ways. Today we'll be looking at what the game would be like if you were to be as uncreative as possible, but in the opposite way that you were thinking of, unless you actually read the video's title, which you probably did. Dimitri trusts us to carefully study the strengths and weaknesses of each of our students that we may provide effective guidance. We will do this by looking only at their weaknesses and raising them around those in order to forge them into the worst warriors the continent of Fodlan has ever seen. Our journey begins with me desperately struggling to think of a good name for our award-winning teacher. In the end, I decided to go with the name of a fan-favorite Harry Potter character whose profession of choice is completely irrelevant to the journey we are about to embark on. The prologue plays normally. There is little I can really do to alter this battle to be more in line with the challenge rules apart from giving Edelgard's axe over to Dimitri, which I forgot to do both here and later in Chapter 1, which technically invalidates the run, but that's okay because this is all make-believe anyway, or something. We clear through as what is sure to be the only easy part of this run, because it's the same as a normal run of a game that is fairly easy already. While we're in the monastery, I reveal to the chat how Rhea's room has a unique property where Byleth's movement speed is slightly slower than it is in the rest of the hub area, for no reason at all. No, seriously, someone please explain it to me. This doesn't make any sense at all. Why is it like this? I am also unpleasantly reminded that Gatekeeper is a real character that people actually voted for in Choose Your Legends Round 5, and I vent my rage in front of my entire viewership.
Right? Like, what the heck happened? Oh no, not this f***er.
Greetings.
Shut the f*** up, I hate you. Piece of shit. Die, you f***er.
Cetus says the name of the game, and I pick the only correct route. After making fun of Annette's daddy issues, we are once again unpleasantly assaulted by the existence of the Gatekeeper, who makes me wish 72,267 specific people were not playing Fire Emblem Heroes during the month of January 2021. After narrowly escaping his soy aura, we are thrust into our first real battle. According to Catholic doctrine, hell is a place where God's grace is no longer present, which leads me to the scientific conclusion that I am currently in hell, as the only reason my team isn't a complete liability in this battle is because I once again forgot to give Dimitri an axe to fight with. I am also helped by the fact that Dedue has no banes in any weapons except ones he currently cannot use, which allows me to use whatever I wish with him until that changes. Sylvain and Annette are almost incapable of dealing meaningful damage in this battle, but they are also the only good options besides my main trio. Dimitri clutches turn 2 by smashing his lance against Dorothea's head, but this does nothing to prepare me for Hubert, who has no intention of falling here or of making his retreat. In a position that even Tony Stark and Doctor Strange would find unfavorable, pulling back is my only option. Sylvain pulls the first of many clutch plays by not instantly dying to Hubert, followed by a sudden critical hit from out of nowhere by Dedue. Ferdinand decides out of nowhere to become a raid boss, necessitating an entire team dogpiling him in order to efficiently bring him down. I manage to do the same to Edelgard just before the Golden Deer come in to fight. Claude then proceeds to give me Fire Emblem Heroes PTSD by being a ranged unit who can instantly kill just about anyone he initiates combat on. He also has Hanneman backing him up, meaning we have to be very careful if we don't want to be turned into Swiss cheese. While this chapter is permanently set to casual, losing anyone could mean not having enough firepower and thus having to start over from the beginning, which also doesn't matter as this isn't an Iron Man, but I am a proud man and wish to do all of this in one go. Dedue and Byleth manage to take down Claude, but Dedue is immediately aggressed upon by Hanneman. Hanneman is very tanky, and as Dedue has learned very painfully, he deals a ton of damage per hit, meaning I have to be very careful in how I attack him. I decide to make a sequence of trades to get Annette's bow over to Sylvain, who does just enough damage to enable Byleth to safely land a killing blow. Unfortunately, Sylvain is taken out by Hilda's hand axe, and Annette's iron bow is taken out of the battle along with him. I forget to update the death counter because I never actually defined what death means in the context of this run. The remaining units managed to clean up Hilda and Manuela, with Dimitri outright breaking his lance on Hilda and a rallied Byleth gaining enough strength to defeat Manuela, and Chapter 1 is finally complete. In the following month, I do some more mandatory exploration, where I am once again accosted by the most annoying Choose Your Legends winner of all time. I make my escape, and the run finally properly begins, as I am enabled to put my students down a proper path, aka the wrong path. We're required to do an auxiliary battle, whose difficulty makes me very nervous for what is to come. As Ingrid is completely lacking in Banes, the rules of the run dictate that I cannot use her. Felix is a more complicated case, as his only weapon-oriented Bane is in Reason Magic, which is also a budding talent for him, meaning that it eventually becomes a boon, and thus unusable. However, he has a Bane in Authority, and we came to the conclusion that Felix cannot participate in battle with a weapon, only being allowed to use gambits and other non-combat abilities. We finally remember that Dimitri needs to be using an axe, and we give him one. The battle begins, and I move my units in groups of 2. I learned that units apparently have a unique victory animation if they land a kill while unarmed, which can only happen via a gambit. Using weapons with magic-oriented characters proves to be a terrible idea, and while they can still technically access their magic right now, I decide for the sake of the spirit of this run that I will abstain from actually using it. Things go from bad to worse as the enemy rapidly approaches my position, and somehow they go from worse to outright miserable the following turn. With little else in the way of options, I begin setting up to form a defensive perimeter, using my strong guys to protect my weak guys. To my amazement, Mercedes actually manages to land a kill, but it does little to stem my fears about this run. My defensive perimeter is secured, and many enemy combatants die very quickly in the following enemy phase. While the rest of my units clean up, Sylvain leads an enemy soldier around with a training bow, only for Annette to take his kill at the last moment. And with that, I have won the battle. I realize only here that casual is likely still enabled, and that I was stressing about my formations for nothing. But soon, the stress will become very real. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a dislike and never subscribe to my channel. And if you are interested in the raw footage of this stream, that will be available in the description box below. Have a good day.